Get the G strikes if you can. You don't have to get the G strikes, but they are very much a big lifesaver. They can save you in very close situations. They've saved mine this long. Make sure you're good at using the ice staff. Make sure you know how to use the ice staff correctly, because if you don't, then obviously you're just probably gonna die like a loser. And of course, try and be decent at training. You don't have to be a god at training, but just be decent, pretty decent, getting the gist, or knowing the basics of training. You should be fine.
Knowing the basics of training, huh? After this whole shenanigans happened, that really aged well for me. And no, you're not supposed to know the basics of training as the minimum. Especially for the training spot I did, it is not that easy. It is not just gonna be training you have to do. Hello, welcome back to another video, and I'm gonna tell you how much I got wrong from the video I made previously. If you remember before, I made a video announcing Origins round 100. I'm gonna be honest, for the first, I want to say 6 months probably, I was not enthusiastic of getting on Origins and doing it because I was way too lazy to actually have the time to do it. So I honestly just didn't do it until like May of this year. And then I took like a 3-month break, and until about 3 weeks ago I actually started to actually try and get 100. I managed to get to, I believe, round 75, which isn't that bad at all. I didn't really feel locked in though. So then like I just didn't really want to play Origins again for another 3 months until, of this month, August. About like on the 3rd of August, I started like playing it again. So then I started my run once more 3 months later, trying to get to 100 once and for all to settle the debate. But then something happened. We were at 97. Juggernog and Stamina were my only perks. No quick revive, no shield, no Widow's Wine, 1 G-Strike. Is Origins really possible to get to 100 for me? We're about to find out in this video and how I did it.
So as I was training, doing my normal training on just a daily round 97, your typical round to get to, I encountered a problem. Remember how I didn't have quick revive and I only had jug and stamina? Well, that was a bad thing because I don't have quick revive, I cannot self-revive, and if I die, there goes my game. And this time, I encountered a horde of zombies coming after me, and I was trying to go through a gap right here. But guess what? Am I gonna go through that gap? Will I be able to survive and make it to round 100? Will I be able to finally get my redemption I've been hoping for the past 2 weeks at the time? We're about to find out. Find out next time in the next video of It's Basic Man.
I was not able to make it to round 100. After this match, I was devastated. I was so sad. I had to wait another week, and throughout that week, it was just defeat and hatred and sadness in my body. I had never suffered a more horrible defeat than the last time I played Revelations, which I died in round 99, and then I reached 100. But anyway, that's off topic. I was so sad, and I really thought that this might actually be the end. So what did I do, you may ask? I sat there in defeat. But then I remembered in that one forgettable video I made.
Amazing. Never back down. Never give up. For the meme, the dream, the stream, and the A-team.
After I remembered that stupid ass video I made, I did indeed never backed down.
This fight's not over yet. Vegeta at 17. And all the others gave everything they had so I could keep going. If I quit now, I'll betray that trust. And I refuse to let all of them down.
I'm done. I'm done.
After more than 3 weeks of literal hell, I had finally made round 100. I don't really know what else to say, so yippee. So how did I make it to round 100? Well, at first, after, the whole, thing happened where I, died. Well, at first, after the 3-month break, so it was August, silly me, I decided to get back on it and just started using my double packed weapon a lot more because we want to conserve as much ice stuff ammo as possible. The problem, I did it a little bit too much because then I realized that now I'm doing the opposite and I'm using the VMP too much, which is costing me a lot of time. There's such thing as overusing the ice stuff, but there's also such a thing as overusing the VMP, which can affect your time. It took me 12 hours to get to 84. That means in order to get to 100, it probably would have taken me another 3 hours or something like that. So I decided to reside to my strategy when I died at 97 and use the ice staff, which cut off my time by an extra 2 hours. And then on the run where it was 100, I just used the ice staff, I started using it around the 50s, 60s. So what would I recommend to you? First of all, I don't think you should recommend you do this strategy. I really don't. You have 3 options that I know of. You can A, train at the crazy place. However, I believe you have to do almost the entire Easter egg for all of those stones that like go on the like those random stones walls around the crazy place. They will disappear like the second before you release the Maxis Drone. You don't do the final step, you just do the second to last step, and then I believe you'll have your training area. The only pro about it is that there's no panzers, which may sound cool and all, but like that's also a con because panzers drop power-ups. Those power-ups from the panzers don't count towards the drop cycle, which is I believe 5. At least that's what my friend told me. It certainly does seem like 5. On top of that, I believe 2 panzers can spawn in your game because it happened to me when I was in like the 70s. But then on my 97 run, I was in like the 80s and I only got a panzer. I don't know why, it just happens, I guess. So the maximum amount of drops without dig sites, just regular, just natural drops, is 7. If it's not a panzer run, it's 5 drops I believe you can get per round. That is if the round is long enough, of course, so that's going to be like after, I don't know, like round 10 or something. You're not going to get 5 power-ups in one round, like if you're on round 1. That just doesn't make any sense. However, I do agree that the pros of training in the crazy place is there's no mud, so you're not going to probably slow down at all. Second thing that's good about it, you have the portals, which I guess is kind of cool. The third thing is that it's way bigger than the tank station, and it is probably way better than training there because I did not like training there. The only problem is that whenever it's a generator round, you know, the one and only opportunity that you're guaranteed to get a max ammo, as long as, you know, kill the attackers before they shut down the generator. The one and only opportunity to get a guaranteed max ammo. And if it's a generator 2, the closest portal to generator 2 is the fire tunnel. You're probably not gonna make it because of the time it takes to create the portal, and then the time it takes to teleport, and then the actual distance from the portal. Other than that though, you should be good because most of the tunnels are next to the generator. I would say though that the tank station also has some pros and cons. Pros, you get panzers, so you can get more drops. Another pro is that it's near the gobblegum machine, so you know, if you want to get a gobblegum, yeah, you can get a gobblegum unlike the crazy place, which doesn't have a gobblegum machine. However, the cons are a lot different. There's mud, and it's annoying as hell to go through the mud. Another pro is that there's a shield, so you can get a shield, unlike the crazy place where if your shield breaks, you gotta go back to the real world and get your shield. I would say though that I don't recommend, I still don't recommend training in the tank station. It's horrible. Now, what would be the third option? The third option is camping in the fire tunnel. Essentially, you want to use a VMP with turned and the ice staff. You're mainly going to be using the ice staff most of the time, but last time I tried that, I lost all of my ice staff ammo on round 30. I used 4 cashbacks and it was only round 40. Actually, I don't even think it was round 40. It was 38. I did not like that strategy, but I mean, that was when I first started Origin, so I don't know, it could have just been me. However, I still recommend training in the crazy place because you're much more limited on what you have. You don't have shield, you don't have the panzer, so it's a lot more limited. It's not kind of, because you're not gonna get, there's no perks in there as well, and there's no shield build or anything in it. So you can't remake your shield. However, in the tank station, it's fucking horrible. I hate it. The only problem why I didn't go with the crazy place is you have to do the Easter egg, and I'm not about to do all of that. Imagine just losing the game to an Easter egg step and you haven't even started on the round 100 run. That would be horrible. So what would I recommend? Obviously the VMP with Blast Furnace or Dead One. I highly recommend both of those two. If you're good at I would recommend Blast Furnace if you killing a lot of zombies, but the rate of how the double pack activates is slow. I would go for Blast Furnace. If you're someone like me who just wants to spray everything within a 2-second interval, then you use Dead One. Doesn't kill as many zombies, I don't believe, as Blast Furnace, but I mean, it's still good. I'd probably recommend Blast Furnace though, because Blast Furnace is really good. Of course, I'd recommend an Ice Staff and then a Boom Hilt or a Mark II. I use the Mark II because I just find it more fun to use and has more ammo. It does take a bit to get in the box, but that just requires luck, so I don't know. I'd never had a problem with getting in the box. That's only one time where it was a problem, but we're not going to talk about that. Perks, I would recommend, if you're not going megas like I did, if you're going classics, I would recommend Jug, of course, quick revive, stamina up, definitely. It is literally impossible to train without stamina up. It's fucking horrible. That leads me to another thing. Keep all the generators on. It is a horrible mistake I have made in the past to just ignore generator rounds. I remember my friend told me to do the generator rounds and do not let all the generators go down. I declined because obviously I don't want to go to a generator round every time. And even though he said that there was max ammo, I still don't care. And then I learned the consequence because when I downed and then I tried to go to stamina up, it was down. And obviously I couldn't activate the generator because there was like a million zombies on me. When I went back to the training area without stamina, I was super slow. No shield, no stamina. I think it was Jug I only had. It was horrible. I do not recommend not doing the generators. Do the generators, keep specifically Gen 5 on as well, because you're gonna need stamina, and keep generator 4 on because Jug is there. You need Jug and stamina and you'll be fine, even without a shield or widows. The other thing is abusing ice staff. If you abuse ice staff, you're gonna die, okay? You can't just rely on the ice staff like before 60. Now, if you were on more of the late rounds, like the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, where the rounds start to get really fucking long, if you only use the VMP double packed, yeah, the rounds are gonna get pretty long. It takes like 20 minutes to do a round on round 90 with only the VMP alone. And I didn't have that amount of time, so I ran out of time and then I got desperate, and that's how I died at 97. What I would do is after round 60, maybe 50, I don't know about 50, just around 60 or 70, 65, I would recommend using the ice staff a lot more. Definitely level 3s, you want to put them in the middle, capture as much zombies. It's going to kill a lot of zombies because, you know, the spawn rate, it's going to be a lot faster. But if you did it in like round 20 or round 30s when the spawn rate isn't as fast, you're not going to get as many kills and you're going to just be wasting a lot of ammo on the ice stuff. That reminds me, of course, I highly recommend alchemical. Even if you're doing classics or megas, it doesn't matter whether you're using classics or megas, bring alchemical. Alchemical is such a lifesaver. I remember I was in like the 80s and it was rough. Every round took me like 15 minutes to do, and I was really running out of time to do it. So I remember I used alchemical and I went over to the left side of the tank station. I remember I popped an alchemical, used level 3 of the ice staff. The round went by like in 2 minutes. It was insane. Like, you really go through the rounds a lot. It cuts down the time by a lot. Remember how I said that using the VMP alone is gonna take you like 13 hours, 15 hours maybe? I don't know about 15, but I remember I did the entire 100 run because I used the ice stuff a lot more in 10 hours total. And like I said, 12 hours to get to 80 and 110 hours? That is insane. It probably would have taken me like 13 hours. So that's like cutting off 3 more hours, which is precious. Time is precious. You want to do it in time, obviously. And if you do have the time, then I guess you could use the VMP alone. I wouldn't, because I just want to be done with this. So let's summarize what we went through. I highly recommend getting the VMP, of course. Mark II, I highly recommend. You can always use the Boom Hill, but obviously get the ice staff upgraded. Do not abuse the ice staff unless you absolutely have to if you want to progress the rounds faster. I'd highly recommend double packing the VMP with either Blast Furnace or Dead Wire. Just depends on your taste. Keep all of the generators on so you can get a lot of max ammo. It gives you the opportunity to obviously give you a max ammo. Specifically Gen 5 and Gen 4 should be on. Maybe Gen 1 if you want. I highly recommend those should be on because you need your quick revive, your stamina up, and your jug. I forgot to mention one thing. If you're using megas, I mean, it varies. You could obviously use a round robin or a power vacuum or whatever the fuck you want to use. It really varies. What I used was Percoholic, Alchemical, In Plain Sight, Raindrop, and then I used Cashback because I wanted to get as much max ammo as possible, but I'm not going to include power vacuum or round robin because I think in my standards that's cheating, because I mean it's just gonna break the game, bro. I didn't use near death at all because near death is so dumb. It's like kind of hard to like not think it's not broken. So I don't know. For megas it varies. You know, your must needs are probably just an alchemical and I don't know, a Perkaholic. Anything that can give you like a max ammo, it'll be good. Anyways, keep the generators on. If you're doing the tank station strat, obviously you want to conserve as much ice taff ammo as possible, unless like you're after the 60s, you're gonna have to be using it a lot more. Now, I will remind you, I do not know anything about the other two strategies. You're just gonna have to find out by yourself, because I have no idea how to do the other two strategies. I know they exist, and I know people have gone to 100 using those strategies. Oh, obviously a shield. You want a shield. Shields are actually pretty important, because if you don't have a shield, then you're actually gonna have to like try and train, because like you don't want to get hit and the mud's slow. You also want to conserve your stamina as well, you know, as with any other training session. So do that, you should be fine. Panzerums, use the Mark II, use the Boomhilda, whatever you use to defeat the Panzer. That's about it. I'd recommend every single round, at the end of every round, get your shield broken and make a new one, unless like your shield is literally like full HP, because it doesn't matter if your shield is at like bright yellow or whatever. It doesn't matter. Break the shield, get a new one, and prepare for the next round. Because if you somehow like goof around and you break your shield, you're not gonna have much else. You're gonna probably just, if you're doing classics, you're only gonna have G-Strikes. By the way, I'd highly recommend G-Strikes. Same thing like I said last time. Highly recommend G-Strikes. So yeah, that's about it. Obviously use the shields. Don't make sure to conserve your shield durability. It's okay if you break it, you should be fine still. But that's about it. Everything else is up to you, of course. If you ever try doing organs 100, just know it's gonna take you anywhere. Like if you're doing megas, it's gonna take you anywhere from like 10, 11 hours, something like that. I took a 1 hour break during my 100 run, because so it was technically 11 hours, but you know, in terms of playing it, it was 10 hours. If you're gonna use EMP alone, it's probably gonna take you like 13, 14 hours or something like that. For classics, just as long as you haven't played Sight and Alchemical, you'll be fine. Any other Gobblegum, I don't really care about. Lucky Crate probably would be good if you're going to be using the VMP a lot. Yeah, during the earlier rounds, it's probably going to be good. It's going to probably last you up to like the 70s, where, you know, it's going to take a really long time to progress through the rounds. So yeah, after like 65, use the Ice Staff a lot. That's about it. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I'm trying to make another video as well, but I haven't worked on that in a while. I'm going to probably get back to it, but I don't know. I forgot to mention one more thing. What is my next map I'm going to be doing? My next map is going to be Shadows of Evil. Why, you may ask? Because I like Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil is a really cool map, and it has like the Apothecon, so I think it wouldn't take that long, just your daily 7 hours on the average map. That's about it I have for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you. I don't fucking know.